When Pakistan was formed in 1947, the idea was that it would be a nation for Muslims. But today, the reality is very different. This year, on the occasion of Bakrid, a decree was issued in Pakistan stating that if any Ahmadiyya Muslim was found offering an animal sacrifice, they would be fined 5 lakh rupees. In many parts of Punjab and Sindh of Pakistan, Ahmadiyya Muslims were even forced to sign affidavits promising that they would not offer sacrifice on Eid. Friends, the Ahmadiyya community has been punished for simply calling themselves Muslim for the last 50 years in Pakistan. Every day there are reports of mob attacks against them. Their mosques are often demolished without any reason. And in a country that calls itself an Islamic state, this Muslim community is forced to live a suffocating life because Pakistan does not even consider them Muslim. Today, we will understand the full story of Ahmadiyya Muslims. Who are they? Why are they persecuted in Pakistan? And why are they not even recognized as Muslim there? We'll explore all of this in this video, so make sure you watch till the end. Pakistan has the world's largest population of Ahmadiyya Muslims. Around 10 to 20 million Ahmadiyya Muslims live across nearly 200 countries, and out of those, about 4 million live in Pakistan. They have more than 16,000 places of worship around the world, and they even run their own TV channel, MTA International. What is interesting is that in the early years, Pakistan proudly called itself a nation that welcomed Ahmadiyya Muslims. They were officially recognized as a Muslim community and were integrated into the country with enthusiasm. But between 1947 and today, everything has changed. Just this March, a 120-year-old Ahmadiyya mosque was demolished. One more reminder that discrimination against the community continues. Today, Ahmadiyya Muslims are not even considered full citizens in Pakistan. So the question is, why did this happen? What changed along the way? To understand this, we first need to know who the Ahmadiyya Muslims are and how their beliefs differ from other Muslim groups. Ahmadiyya Muslims are a sect within Islam. This movement was founded in the 19th century during British rule in India. Its founder was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, who was born in 1835. He established the Ahmadiyya community in 1889 in a small village called Qadian, with the aim of reviving the core values of Islam that, according to him, had been forgotten over time, that is, peace, love, justice, and the sanctity of life. The community was formally launched in 1889 during an initiation ceremony in Ludhiana, where the first group of followers took an oath of allegiance at his hand. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad encouraged Muslims to abandon extremist ideas and return to the true essence of Islam. Now, before we understand who Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was and how he became the founder of this movement, we need to understand how Ahmadiyya Muslims differ from Shia and Sunni sects of Islam. The common belief in Islam is that Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet, the final messenger of God. The Quran also states that no prophet will come after him, including Prophet Muhammad. Muslims believe that around 1,24,000 prophets were sent to different parts of the world at different times. All of them brought God's message to guide humanity. For example, Jesus Christ, Moses, David, Ibrahim, and others connected with Christianity and Judaism are also considered prophets in Islam. But Prophet Muhammad is believed to be the last and final one. Now, to understand this controversy clearly, you need to know one more important point. To be a Muslim, 3 conditions must be fulfilled. First, belief in one God. This is known as Tawahid. Second, belief in all the prophets who came before and belief that Prophet Muhammad is the final prophet. This is called Risalah. And third, belief in the day of judgment, the day when Allah will judge the deeds and actions of every human being. These 3 beliefs form the foundation of Islam. Now, Ahmadiyya Muslims accept 2 of the 3 essential pillars of Islam, belief in one God and belief in the day of the judgment. But they differ on the issue of prophethood. Although they do accept Prophet Muhammad as the final prophet, but Ahmadiyyas have also believed that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, the same person I mentioned earlier in the story, was the last prophet. And the story behind why he called himself a prophet is quite complex. According to Islamic teachings, Allah has sent two kinds of prophets to this world. The first are those who bring a Sharia, a new law or scripture. For example, the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. The second type of prophets are who come only to reform the society, like Prophet Ibrahim or Prophet Noah. In this sense, Ahmadiyya Muslims believe that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was a reformer prophet, someone whose mission was to reshape and uplift society, not to bring a new scripture. Because of this belief, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad faced many challenges during his lifetime. And the story of how he founded this movement is equally interesting. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was born on February 13, 1835 in Qadian, Punjab in British India. The name Qadian was added to his name later, the same way people often attach their village name to their identity. That is why his full name became Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Mirza's family was politically active and his father was a wealthy and influential man in the region. From a young age, Mirza was deeply interested in studies, so his father sent him to a teacher named Fazil Ilahi. Under him, Mirza learned Arabic grammar and Persian and soon developed a strong interest in Islamic literature. Once he learned Arabic, he began reading the Quran in depth. In 1864, he took up a job as a clerk in Sialkot and he worked there for 4 years. During this time, he met many Christian missionaries who often debated with him about Islam and Christianity. However, after 4 years, he left his job for reasons that are not very clear and returned to Qadiani to look after his family's land and property. Alongside managing his estate, he continued his passion for learning. He read Islamic texts extensively and spent long hours in mosques, often lost in prayer. He also took part in debates with people of different religion. In one such debate in 1886, he argued strongly in favor of Islam. That same year, he went into seclusion and prayed continuously for 40 days. He took 3 disciples with him. Mirza stayed alone in a house and his disciples only brought him food and water. He would step out only on Fridays. Mirza claimed that this 40-day period of prayer was commanded by God, and after this, his reputation began to spread. Then came the year 1888. In December of that year, Mirza announced that he was sent by God, that he was a messenger. He declared that he was the Mahdi. In Islamic belief, the Mahdi is a prophesied figure who will come to restore justice and peace in the world. Mirza also claimed to be messenger of God. He began saying that he was divinely appointed reformer sent to eliminate the evils of society. Throughout his life, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad wrote many books describing the purpose of his mission. One of his most important work was Are Ahmadiyya, in which he laid out the guiding principles for the Ahmadiyya community. After these claims, Muslim scholars across the region began issuing fatwas against him. He faced widespread criticism and opposition, but Mirza Ghulam Ahmad did not back down. He taught his followers to stay completely devoted to God and to distance themselves from material desires. He also emphasized that after his death, a caliphate would guide the community and continue his vision. When Mirza Ghulam Ahmad passed away in 1908, his followers unanimously elected Hazrat Maulvi Hakim Nuruddin as their first caliph, formally establishing the Ahmadiyya Caliphate. Since then, the community has a total of 5 caliphs. In the beginning, the Ahmadiyya community faced strong opposition from followers of almost every major religion. But despite these challenges, the community kept growing. They continued spreading what they believed were the truer teachings of Islam. Through education, dialogue, and peaceful efforts. Their message was simple. Islam does not spread through the sword, but through reason, compassion, and service to humanity. They reminded Muslims that God has promised to protect Islam through a caliphate, and the Ahmadi community believes that only a peaceful Islamic caliphate can unite humanity. From a small village in Qadian, this movement gradually spread across the world, drawing millions of followers who believed in its message of peace and reform. Now let's come back to the real question. Why is the situation of Ahmadiyyas so bad in Pakistan today? When India was partitioned in 1947, the Ahmadis supported Jinnah and argued strongly for the creation of Pakistan. Most of them migrated to the newly formed nation. In the early years, they were respected and even seen as nation builders. But then, one book changed everything. In 1953, a book was published in Pakistan called The Qadiani Problem. This book was written by Maulana Maududi. In this book, he rejected the claims of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, the founder of the Ahmadiyya community, and declared him anti-Islam. This book marked the beginning of very difficult times for Ahmadiyya Muslims in Pakistan. After the book spread, anti-Ahmadi sentiment grew rapidly among the public. Riots broke out in Lahore and several other cities. Ahmadi-owned shops were burned and many people lost their lives. Maulana Maududi was even sentenced to death for inciting hatred, but the sentence was withdrawn due to heavy pressure. From that point on, the environment worsened and life became increasingly difficult for Ahmadiyas. Then came the year 1974, the year Pakistan's parliament made a historic decision. At that time, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was in power. Under pressure from clerics and fundamentalist groups, Bhutto introduced the second constitutional amendment. Parliament voted overwhelmingly to declare Ahmadiyas as non-Muslims. This was one of the darkest days in Pakistan's history. The day an entire community was legally pushed out of their own religion. With this decision, Pakistan became the first country in the world to officially declare a sect within Islam as non-Muslim. But the story does not end there. In fact, the real darkness began after this. When Zia-ul-Haq came to power after Bhutto, he issued a new law in 1984, Ordinance 20. Under this ordinance, Ahmadiyas were banned from calling themselves Muslim. They were not allowed to pray in a mosque, and even giving the call to prayer became a punishable offense. Reciting verses from the Quran or using Islamic symbol was declared illegal for them. Imagine, speaking about your own faith became a crime in a country like Pakistan. After these laws were enforced, thousands of Ahmadiyas were arrested. Their mosques were sealed, Quranic verses were removed from their gravestones. Life became almost unbearable. Their caliph at that time, Mirza Tahir Ahmad, was forced to leave Pakistan and took refuge in London. This marked the beginning of the Ahmadiyya exodus. Today, thousands of Ahmadiyya families live in Britain, Canada, Germany, and United States. Many of them considering themselves exiles from their own homeland. The news I shared with you earlier that anyone sacrificing an animal for an Ahmadi on Eid will find 5 lakh rupees is not new. For Ahmadiyas, even performing the Eid sacrifice is treated as a crime. That is why the police raids their home, check their refrigerators for meat, and search for any sign of a hidden sacrifice. This is how deep the fanaticism has grown. And it does not stop there. New fatwas are issued against Ahmadiyas almost every day in Pakistan. Their mosques are labeled as temples. Even greeting them with Assalamu alaikum is considered offensive by some people. There was a time when Ahmadiyas were helping build Pakistan as doctors, engineers, teachers, and lawyers. But today, many of them are unemployed simply because of their faith. They are denied government jobs and they struggle to get admission in universities also. Because of this, many Ahmadiyya families have left Pakistan and settled in countries around the world. By the way, let me tell you something important. Ahmadiyya Muslims also live in India, and even here there was an attempt to marginalize them. In 2023, a controversy broke out when the Andhra Pradesh Waqf Board declared that nikah would not be performed for Ahmadis because, according to them, Ahmadis were not Muslims. This decision was based on an old fatwa from 2012. The Ahmadiyya community challenged this in court and the High Court struck the decision down. Later, the central government also reprimanded the Waqf Board, saying that the Constitution of India guarantees religious freedom to every citizen. A person can follow any faith they choose. There can be no restrictions on that. And this highlights the difference between India and Pakistan. On one hand, Pakistan is a place where people can be punished or even killed by the state in the name of religion. On the other hand, in India, the courts step into the protection of rights of Ahmadiyas. Even though some fundamentalist groups in India still demand that Ahmadiyas be declared non-Muslims, the constitution has blocked such attempts every single time. Friends, the sad truth is that Pakistan, a country created in the name of Islam, no longer recognizes one of its own Islamic sect as part of faith. Even today, Ahmadi graveyards are destroyed, their mosques are attacked, and they are denied basic religious rights, the rights to marriage, to celebrate Eid, and even to give the Azaan. The very people who helped lay foundation of Pakistan in the name of Islam have now been pushed out of Islam by the same nation. So this was the story of Ahmadiyya Muslims. I hope you liked the video. If you like this video, please like and share the video and subscribe for more information. Thank you.